Good morning, friends, friends, and family. It is yet another sunny day here in the United States of Siege, and of course, the smell of Trumpster fire is, darkening the horizon and tainting our nostrils, right? It is currently inescapable. Um, while I will take another breather later today, another video, and address Tulsi Gabbard, the apparent deployment of ground troops in Nigeria, um, what I've heard about us potentially bombing Yemen. Yeah, there's a lot, right? But I want to address something a bit more personally, and I hope that people who've been really supportive don't take this the wrong way, right? Um, it's something I couldn't figure out what was sitting wrong with me in some of the comments and supportive comments I've received, right? I mean, and the majority response to a lot of my videos, particularly the ones where I, talk about being an SA survivor, have been incredibly supportive. And one of the things that's been a through line is people saying that I'm brave for saying what I've said, for sharing. And as weird as it might sound, that actually really bothers me, and I couldn't figure out why. And this morning, moment of clarity, right? It bothers me because I don't think there should be bravery ascribed to telling the truth, telling my truth, talking about what happened. I don't believe there should be bravery ascribed to any survivor telling their truth, because it's fucked up that we have a system that makes it more shameful for survivors to come forward and be honest about trauma that was inflicted. I can't emphasize that enough, right? Inflicted upon them, more so than the people who are accused of doing these horrendous and heinous things. Like, those are the motherfuckers who need to be ashamed. That if your name is dirty enough to get dragged through it, particularly credibly, then these are the motherfuckers who need to cower their heads and feel small and shrink from the light. I feel like there's so much more power in reclaiming your narrative, because that's all that happened, right? Like, um, being victimized and surviving is like having a fucking long and intense conversation with somebody and someone just popping in and rudely interrupting your flow. No, motherfucker, I'm not wrong for the conversation I was having before. You're the asshole who decided to interrupt and inflict yourself upon my existence. And while I appreciate the comments calling me brave, I'm just telling my truth. And don't get me wrong, like, it was scary, but I realized why that was sitting wrong. There shouldn't be any shame, because there's no shame in someone getting mugged, right? There's no shame in somebody getting jumped. There's no shame in so many other violent, heinous acts, that are perpetrated towards the victim. SA is the only one. And that's, comes back to dismantling the patriarchy and everything else, and to this fucked up notion that somehow victims, survivors, are in any way fucking responsible for what happened to them. So, that being said, rant over, right? I thank everyone who in their comments has called me brave, because like I said, it was scary. And yeah, I guess in this fucked up society right now, it is an act of bravery to come forward, but it really fucking shouldn't be. And as we are systematically working to uncover the truth and burn it all down, dismantling the concept of an SA survivor coming forward being brave is the same, it should be in the same breath with believing the survivors in the first place, right? Removing that stigma entirely, because it's more commonplace than any of us care to admit. And I think that's one of the harsh realities that's coming to light with the Epstein files, the Trumpstein files, whatever the fuck you want to call the files, right? Is that victims tend to get treated like second-class citizens when we've done nothing at all wrong. So, end rant for the moment. I will hop back on something a little more political in the meantime. But as always, stand strong, stand united, and more importantly, rise the fuck up.